All right, I'm going to read a random section from my college notes right now. Hold on. What section do you want? 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5?
14. 4.
At 4?
4. Yeah.
You want 4? Oh, well, funnily enough, that's the one that is the sparsest. Oh,
Sparsest?
Shit, sparse. It's very sparse. It has nothing in it. I also kind of fucked over. It's like Dunsparce?
Maester Chief.
So the heading is Maester Chief? What the fuck are you on about? What the fuck? So the heading is controversy in contemporary society. The next thing is political spectrum. Left and right classifications are from France. Libertarianism sucks. And that was my notes for the day.
Ah, nice.
That was back on January 25th.
Like your professor talked about libertarianism for like 14 minutes, and all you wrote down was libertarianism.
Quite literally, nothing in that class matters. Like all we do is just like have these debates about stupid things, and I say really centrist things, and it's just like
both
credit.
of you are stupid, and you float away.
Basically, like we were talking about gun control today, and I was like, it's going to be really hard to talk about gun control because people, they see it as a hobby. Some people see it as a right. Some people see it as like home defense. And my professor was like, full credit. And I'm like, okay. I said nothing.
I had no take, and it was the best one.
I had literally no take.
I was on the fence, but it was a really wide fence.
It was the widest fence that you've ever seen.
Okay, what podcast episode?
This is podcast 84.
I think it's 20, right?
No, I don't think we're at that.
Well, let me see. Or is it 19?
Oh,
let me check, because I literally don't remember. Your channel.
Oh,
on YouTube. We are on episode 20. Yeah.
Oh, bitchin'. You want me to talk about how one of the people I knew growing up had a pig?
Just give me a second. I'll properly introduce. But that is a great.
Yeah, no, that's
random thing.
No, there's a story.
Yeah, there's a story. So, hey everyone, this is ixcast episode 20. That's the one.
You really almost butchered that.
I literally butchered it.
I mean, you did.
We're gonna roll with it.
All right.
So I'm here with just Mezz.
That's me.
Hey, and I'm your other host, Spencer. Hey, it's me. But anyways, go on with this pig thing.
Yeah. Okay. So when I was growing up, I lived in a relatively small-ish town. Still kind of do because I haven't moved out yet. But a friend of mine, and I use friend kind of loosely here. He had a pig that like his family like raised and grew up with. Apparently, the pig's name was Saladin. I didn't know this until recently. And another friend of mine, we'll call him Steve. He wanted to fight the pig like constantly. Apparently, another friend of mine who will name Chris also wanted to fight the pig. And Patrick, one of the other co-hosts, described it as they had a fightable pig. I don't know what everyone's obsession.
It had a punchable face.
Apparently, like it was also like a fucking dick. Like it was really aggressive and like I never interacted with it, even though I kind of went over there a couple of times. Like we took homecoming photos there. I have a picture of me kneeling next to a Mike Wazowski pillow on like his driveway in like full homecoming clothes.
Homecoming clothes.
Okay, no.
Or not a tux, but like a
homecoming.
Suit.
Homecoming, you never wore it. You never wore a suit. You wore a vest and like a tie.
Yeah.
Because it's real. It's like semi-formal-ish, but it's a little casual. My hair looked really good.
It's like business formal, yeah.
Yeah, no.
It's like church formal. It's a little bit better.
I would
than
say
formal.
It's quinceañera formal. I've been to a quinceañera too.
Have you been to a what's the other? Like, it's not bar mitzvah, but it's the women.
Bat mitzvah.
Version. Bat mitzvah. Is that
I
what
think.
it is?
I don't know. Don't we have
I'm
some
going
Jewish
bat
friends?
mitzvah.
Hold on. Let me just look up the phrase bar mitzvah for women.
I'm queuing for
bat mitzvah. No, it is bat mitzvah. So it's bar mitzvah for boys and it's bat mitzvah for girls. Now we know.
Okay.
It both happens when so it's when a Jewish boy turns 13 years old, he has his bar mitzvah, but when a girl turns 12, but only if she's Orthodox or conservative Jew.
Hmm.
So now you know. I mean, this was something
I made it out of stew.
You did?
I did.
Wow.
It tasted good.
Does it? I haven't had stew in like ages. I'm gonna make tacos after this. Except I'm gonna make white people tacos. Meaning that I'm not really going to make them too spicy. I'm not going to go crazy with any vegetables. It's going to basically be meat, cheese, sour cream, maybe some lettuce if I'm feeling a little adventurous, like white people tacos.
I hate making tacos at home, to be honest.
Yeah, no, it's not great.
It's never
I just
the
like
same.
preparing meat.
You like preparing meat?
Yeah, I like preparing meat. Preparing meat is actually very relaxing. Have you?
It's very easy.
Yeah, that too.
Well, I mean, like ground beef is very easy. Like
That's what I mean.
Ground, yeah.
Yeah.
Because you just brown it, and it's
just,
so broken up that it all cooks evenly.
Yeah, it's really easy. I had sushi recently.
Oh.
Dude, sushi's so good. I went to a rotating sushi bar for the first time.
Wait, where?
Up in, like, the Chicago area. It's the place called Kura. Or Kuro. Kura.
What?
Yeah.
How did I not know that?
I don't know. Hey, next time we go to ASIN, or if you go to ASIN.
If that ever happens again, yeah.
Well, it got canceled this year. But no, it was a really nice place. It was delicious. I had, like, all the salmon sushi they were putting out, and it was super good.
Yeah, I'm not sure what, like, I really like about sushi. I usually just, like, go with the same thing once I find something. But, I would say, like, yeah, just, like, I'm fine with, like, the very normal rolls, but I also like, do you remember La Bamba at college?
Yeah, I remember that.
That was like it was a Mexican burrito place, but then they had a sushi bar.
Yeah, for some reason.
And they sold, like, they would have, you go to, like, a Japanese restaurant, and they have, like, spicy mayo on their sushi rolls, or, like, other stuff.
I think that's
like
just called Japanese mayo.
It probably is. But, like, at La Bamba, they would actually have, like, it would actually be super spicy. Like, it wasn't like where you go to a Japanese place and it's not that spicy.
It's like
I don't know what was up with that. I guess it was just because it was what they had at the place. But they would, like, put, like, little jalapeno slices on it. It was good.
Oh God, was that it? I mean, I guess when I think of sushi, I'm more thinking of more umami flavors. Like the savory.
Yeah, I like like I said, I don't really know what I like about sushi. I think it's just, like, one of those things you start to like the feeling of eating it or something. It's just, like, the experience of eating sushi.
Yeah,
not so much like the taste or anything. It tastes good. I mean.
No, yeah.
Whatever.
Well, I really like the taste. There was one. It was like a salmon thing, but it had, like, some Japanese cream cheese or something. I forget what it said. Yeah. But it was the most delicious pieces of sushi I ever had. Like there was only California 2 on the plate.
Rolls? California rolls have
I've
cream cheese in them.
Now that you bring up California rolls, that was actually my first experience with sushi. There is a local place in my hometown that Spencer you've been to, for New Year's.
What, Bash?
Yeah, Bash.
Yeah, Bash is amazing. They too have, like, actually spicy rolls.
Well, they have, like, actual, like, I think they're Japanese like chefs preparing the sushi. Mm-hmm. And you can sit at the sushi bar, which kind of sucks if you're not ordering sushi. You kind of feel like you're wasting your time there, but this was the same Homecoming. No, it was a Homecoming before the Mike Wazowski picture. And
your life is just pre Mike Wazowski picture and post Mike Wazowski picture.
It was a very divisive time for me. But so it was like the first time that I'd really gone out with my now ex. At the time we hadn't started dating, but I had asked her out to Homecoming. And her group was going to Bash back when it was in its old location. You haven't been to that one, but so we get there, and she's like, "Yeah, it's got burgers, it's got sushi, it's got mac and cheese." And I was like, "Well, I've never had sushi before. Let's try it." I get a California roll. It is not great for me. I did not enjoy it. I think it was the seaweed that was really putting me off.
Yeah, that's something that I've noticed with, like my dad doesn't like sushi, and it's mainly because of, like, the texture of, like, seaweed is, if it's, like, too I guess lukewarm or something.
I just don't like the taste of seaweed. I mean, it was really, really putting me off.
Like, it can be kind of like difficult to chew, and then it's just like, oh, this is gross.
Right. But that was when I was like 14, maybe 15. No, I was 14. Because I was not driving yet. Mm-hmm. And then I hadn't had sushi for like another 6 years, and then a friend of mine, we go visit a mutual friend of ours too up in Chicago, and I do some stupid things that I will not admit to on the podcast, but I am very not present in my mind, and they're like, let's go to sushi, so we walk there. The whole time I am very out of my mind, and we get there, and I'm like, oh god, this is a sushi place, I haven't had sushi in forever, and I'm trying to read the menu. I realize I can't read. I look at them and I go, guys, I can't read.
That's happened before. It's that moment where like you look at your phone and it doesn't make sense, and you're like, oh.
Like I could read the letters and understand what the letter was and what sound it made, but it didn't make sense in the conjunction like of everything else. Like if I was looking at like roll, I was like, okay, R, that's R. Oh, that's oh.
This makes sense so far,
but it does. I can't read, and like because it was like
the concept of the word roll did not make sense to you.
No, it didn't. Because it was like a like order as many as you want / need kind of place, kind of like a reverse buffet. Yeah. Where it was like made to order, but you weren't expected to like get like, okay, here's 7 pieces of this kind of sushi. It was like, okay, well I want 1 eel, 2 salmon. Give me like an octopus and some crab rangoon. Yeah. And you'd give it back. And so they're trying to like teach me. They're like, okay, get like 2 eel. If you don't like it, I'll eat it. And I'm like, okay, what does eel start with? E?
I've never really been too adventurous with it. I usually just stick with like salmon, tuna, sometimes like crab or shrimp or something like that.
I mean, but I've had some kind of like sushi on occasion. But most of the time, I can either... Because I know for me, if I know I'm maybe not going to be super inclined to something on like a sushi roll, like if it's some sort of like... I don't even know what would be on it. Like, I'm not really a big fan of soy sauce, but I know if it's like on sushi, if I just eat it all, it'll kind of mix in. And even if it's like kind of bad, it won't overpower the rest of the sushi. If it's prepared well, obviously. Yeah. So I'm like more willing just to like eat it whole, because aren't you supposed to eat sushi in like one bite?
I'm pretty sure.
I watched some
Google. I watched some like sushi. Like you get in that YouTube rabbit hole and you start watching like very random short videos.
Sushi FAQ.
Yeah. And I watched this thing about like it's this really expensive sushi bar. It's not really a sushi bar though. It's just like you like have 2 people in there at a time, and they prepare like the chef prepares.
So it's like specific... a little dive bar kind of thing.
No, it's very professional. It's like an actual Japanese,
right? But it's like very small. Oh, is it like
it's super small? It's
is it like that Jiro Dreams of Sushi?
Yes, it's that place. Yes. And it's like that if it's not that, and the chef will give you like 2 pieces and be like, okay, eat this. And then, and they would say like, yeah, you have to pick it up like this and shove the whole thing in your mouth, chew it, and then that's what the ginger is actually there to like cleanse your palate. Yeah. Which is something I did not know.
They offered us ginger at the place, and I didn't partake in any of it, and I kind of feel like a fool.
I mean, we're not in Japan, so who cares? And even if you're in Japan, who cares?
Okay, so it is okay to eat nigiri sushi with your hands. Sashimi is only to be eaten with your chopsticks.
Yeah, that's something too, is that I believe in that video they were like eating it with their hands. I was like, what? Why? But they have like a little bowl of water to like cleanse your hand, and it's like, oh, okay. Mm-hmm. Huh. It's very cool.
Well, if we want to talk about YouTube rabbit holes, I had mentioned this prior in the
topics thing. Oh my god.
So I got my second COVID shot about a week ago. and it took me out. But kind of prior to that, I was watching. I think some people who like kind of frequent YouTube may have had this pop up in their like recommended. It was like bobsledding accidents, not like bad, like people dying, but it was just like, oh, this person fell out of the sled and now they're disqualified. And like I saw one where like a paper fan fell on the track during like a skeleton run, which is so skeleton and luge are run using the same like kind of format and I think the same sleds. The only thing that differentiates between skeleton and luge is skeleton you go head first, and in luge you go feet first.
Right.
So that's an important distinction. But like some of these like you're hearing the commentators and like, yeah, Team France wiped out on turn 3 of this track. Let's see if Team Belgium does any better. And you see Team Belgium just fucking eat it. And I mean, luckily, you know, nobody gets like really, really hurt in any of these because, God, was it like the 2010 Winter Olympics that somebody like died doing practice runs?
I remember hearing about that.
Yeah,
I mean, it was 2010. That was 11 years ago, but still. Yeah. I remember you always think about like whenever I learned what skeleton bobsledding was, all I heard was people die doing that.
Well, like one person died.
I mean, yeah.
Sorry, I keep.
But you're going really fast.
No, you get like I want to say like 60 miles an hour, maybe even more, because a lot of the times they do it in like kilometers, and I actually know the only kilometers. The only kilometers conversion I know is because I was watching Initial D a bunch, and they're like, "Oh my god,
like 60 miles per hour."
It is because every time they were like, "Oh my god, he's hitting that corner at 60 kilometers an hour," and I was like, "Okay, I need to know if I need to be impressed or not." And then I googled it, and I was like, "Oh god, you're taking a corner at 60 miles an hour? You're fucking insane."
Yeah. What was I gonna say? Oh, do you remember? It was a long time ago now. But I'm not exactly sure what the name of the guy was, but on live television during a basketball game, that guy like did a jump shot and then broke his shin.
Oh yeah, God!
And
I remember being disgusted by that and not wanting to look at it.
I saw it. I didn't watch it live. I just like.
But you saw like
I saw it and I was like, oh dude, no! Like that stuff. Like I could handle it in like movies and stuff.
Ooh.
But
well,
like,
yeah, in movies
did
it's like fanatic.
You know it's not real, even though it might look real or sound real or something. Yeah. But it's just
I got a friend who like can't do any sort of like animated blood or violence. Like she just.
I mean, I can. It's a good thing to not be used to.
Right.
Because I remember like back when I was like, I don't know, high school or I don't even know when I did it, but like when you first discover 4chan, so you go on 4chan and just like look at gore threads and you're like, why am I doing this?
I on occasion will like peek into them and I'll be like, okay, no, I remember why I don't.
It's like, just there's no point. It's just like it's morbid curiosity, but it's just like it always makes you feel sick to your stomach. It's just a horrible thing.
I sometimes just curse my morbid curiosity because like I'm just one of those people that just has to know things. Like people could describe things to me, but I have to like see it in order for it to like really satiate my curiosity.
Yeah, I was just recently watching like a movie review of like this newer like horror movie, and they were actually showing like interspersed shots of like people's bones breaking and like their guts spilling out and people getting burned, and the whole time, like, since it was just like a shock value of like them showing it out of nowhere, I was just like, oh geez, like I can't do it much anymore. Like I remember like late high school, early college, like watching horror movies and seeing all the blood and guts and all this like fake movie stuff, but like, and I really like the practical stuff of it all, but it's just like, I don't know, it like animation has gotten, like effects have gotten so good that even though you know it's like fake, it really does look real, and it's like, it's cool. It's just that it's gross.
I in between the May podcast that we recorded and now, which was what, like a full 10 months. I ended up watching The Thing for the first time, and I gotta say, practical effects.
That movie
they're pretty good.
Is really good.
Oh yeah, The Thing is really good. It is like I watched it on Halloween, and it was it was a really good piece of cinema. It was just very, very good. I mean, it's a classic.
I just love, like, in The Thing, they use a lot of different, like, they use the practical, like,
it's like all practical effects, like almost no special effects.
Yeah, I don't know how many. I know that, like, for no, I don't think there is much special effects. I don't really know.
Yeah, no.
But, like, they're like really burning the set. They're like really blowing stuff up, and it's just like, that's so good. It's always fun to watch that stuff. Like, I don't know, it you get spoiled now with special effects, but the practical stuff is just like, it's really charming, and like that stuff holds up.
There's a certain level of like reality with it too.
Mm-hmm.
Where like
it's physically there rather than like you have an actor like looking at a green screen and they're like, I'm surprised.
Well, for me, it's always like, okay, this thing is just a bit too detailed for like the film medium. Whereas like a practical effect, I'm like, okay, yeah, my brain recognizes that that's just like, you know, special effects makeup. But it looks so real because it behaves exactly like how it physically should. Like, you know, you have tentacles dangling off the ceiling and somebody like wrapping themselves in them and like, it's not doing anything weird.
It looks all slimy and oily.
Yeah,
it's like,
it's like, but if it's a practical effect, it looks really fucking good. I gotta say, like, the thing was really fucking good.
Recently watched, I'm gearing up to watch the King Kong versus Godzilla movie.
Oh yeah, because you're a huge Godzilla
like
boy.
The Godzilla.
You're a Godzilla boy, eh?
I recently watched the original King Kong versus Godzilla from like
the 80s.
Oh, I don't even remember.
70s, 60s.
One second, let me find it. I'm gonna search King Kong versus Godzilla, and it's not gonna come up because it's gonna be the old one or the new one rather. King Kong versus Godzilla, 1962.
1962.
The original Godzilla film came out in 52.
Long before I was born.
It's like the third film they ever made or something like that.
The third film ever.
It's
the third film ever.
So I own that on DVD, and that movie is not good. That movie is boring. It's got some really cool stuff in there. So really, like, they have this scene where they go to Skull Island. I don't even remember if they call it Skull Island, but
they're just like, it's King Kong's birthplace.
Yeah, exactly. They go to Skull Island. It's these two scientists, or like, I don't even know what to call them, like
researchers,
scientists. Yeah, researchers. They go there and they meet up with like the tribe that lives there. And it's like Japanese people doing blackface.
Oh no!
and I was watching it with my sister, and I was just like, "Is this racist?"
Might be a little racist.
And she was like, "No, it's not." Oh, yeah, it's racist. And they're just like, they're playing music. They're trying to like summon Kong, and before they do that, they like summon a different monster, and it's just like octopus, right? But what they did was they had like a miniature like set, and they put a real octopus like on it, and it looked really cool because it's just a real octopus, and it like is slowly crawling. But then they put like this terrible, like actually awful green screen effect on it with like people like running away. And then they do the same thing when Kong shows up, and it does not hold up whatsoever. But the actual like scene of the octopus looks good. The actual like costume for Kong looks terrible. The one for Godzilla looks fine. But it is a lot of like these composite shots of green screen, terribly green screened in people like shouting or running or like talking, being like, "Oh wow, look at that," and having like King Kong and Godzilla like fighting in their puppet, or not in their little costumes, and it's very funny. There's a scene where King Kong picks up a miniature tree and shoves it into Godzilla's mouth.
Jesus.
And he's just like, eat your vegetables. It's very funny. But that movie ends with King Kong and Godzilla like I forgot the best part. King Kong, for no reason, because Toho just said it to be so, King Kong is powered up by electricity.
Oh yeah, a friend of mine
so he
referenced that in a drawing.
Yeah. So he just like at some
starts
point I think he
power
like
lines?
bites he like bites power lines and they're like, or no, he gets struck by lightning or something like crazy like
God.
that. And the researchers are like, oh no, he's much more powerful now. He gets power. Like they just say that he's more powerful
King
now.
Kong.
And so he's like has the strength to defeat Godzilla. And then Godzilla and him tussle more, and they like fall into the ocean, and the movie just ends.
Jesus.
It ends with Godzilla like not seen again.
They really
he like swims away.
Like...
They don't show it, and then King Kong is like slowly floating away, and they're like, he's going back to Skull Island, and then the credits just roll, and there's nothing else, and it's just like, are you kidding me? So I'm hoping that that this new movie is more exciting than that, and hopefully not super centric on the people, but it's always been way too centric about the people, especially in the American movies.
Well, yeah. Remind me, is King Kong, was he like that originally like an American thing, or was that also Japanese?
I'm pretty sure King Kong was an American thing.
Okay.
I think so.
It was just,
I mean, yeah, like, he appears in New York.
Yeah, but I mean...
So I would assume he's American. Let me check.
I mean, Fast and the Furious 2 Tokyo Drift was an American movie, too, but...
That is true.
So
was that movie with Jackie Chan and Eddie Murphy?
Eddie Murphy? You mean Rush Hour?
No, Chris Rock?
Brown?
Chris Rock.
Chris Rock?
Chris Rock?
You mean Rush Hour?
Rush Hour, yeah. What's Rush? Well, let me search that.
I don't know.
Rush Hour.
I just remember a Donkey quote where it's just, he ain't gonna be in Rush Hour 3.
Wait, Chris Tucker is in Rush Hour 1?
What? Who the fuck is Chris
Tucker? Who the heck is Chris Tucker? Oh, then it's Chris Tucker. Who the fuck was I talking about? Whatever. There's too many Chris's.
Who the fuck is Chris Tucker?
But let me look up King Kong. King Kong is a film monster. Let's see.
Oh wait, they did make a Rush Hour 3.
Yes, they did. From RKO Pictures. It was the first King Kong film. RKO Pictures is an American film production. So yes, King Kong is an American thing.
Wow.
So that settles it, I guess.
That's the end all be all.
But did you ever see the new, like any of the newer Godzilla films?
No, I've only
starting with the American
new-ish.
2014 one.
I only saw the new-ish King Kong one.
Oh, Skull Island. King
Yeah.
Kong Skull Island.
That's because my dad really likes it.
How'd you feel about that?
I was like, wow, Jack Black, what a bold choice.
That's the Peter Jackson one. I'm talking about the new one.
Oh, I haven't seen that one.
The Peter Jackson one, the one with Adrian.
Wait, was it
Brody
Jack Black or
Jack Black is in that one? Yes.
Because the guy who did Steve Brule, John C. Reilly, is he also in that one?
Oh, I don't know. Now you gotta make me look it up.
I remember John C. Reilly was in it.
Peter Jackson, King Kong.
Just makes me want to watch Pacific Rim every time I see it.
I love Pacific Rim.
Pacific Rim's really good.
Let's see. So it's starring Naomi Watts, which is the girl, Jack Black, Adrian Brody, Thomas Kretschmann, Colin Hanks, Jamie Bell, Evan Park, Lobo Kyle Chandler, Andy Serkis. Andy Serkis? He was in that movie?
Huh.
Yeah. Anyways. No, John C. Reilly was not in that movie.
Okay, well, I saw the John C. Reilly version.
I don't know what you're talking
about.
King Kong, John C. Reilly.
C. Reilly, King
Oh my god, you're right. Yeah, it's Kong Skull Island. Yeah.
Kong
oh yeah,
Skull
he's in
Oh,
that
Tom
movie.
Hiddleston's in it. Oh, fucking Samuel L. Jackson's in it. John Goodman. Fuck.
Yeah. Okay, we're all good. Now we get it. Now we know what we're talking about.
Yeah, no, I don't think Jack Black was in this one though.
No.
I don't know why I thought he was. Well, he was in another. Moises Arias was in this?
Dude, I barely remember that. I mean, I watched it, but like, I thought that some of that stuff was cool.
Wasn't he on Moises Arias? Wasn't he on like fucking Hannah Montana? Wasn't he? Wasn't he?
Who?
Pretty sure he was. I'm pretty sure he was. Moises Arias. He's on Everybody Hates Chris as kid number 5.
Kid number 5.
Yeah, Hannah Montana. He was Rico. He was Rico on Hannah Montana.
Oh, is that the guy that's like
Wait, he was Fred in Phineas and Ferb. I was like, wait, I thought Ferb was it's like British, and I read Fred, and my brain was just like,
Hey, what?
Damn, fucking Hannah Montana went from 2006 to 2011. Jesus,
that's actually crazy.
That is crazy.
But yeah, I watched that original film, and then I watched we watched Godzilla King of the Monsters, which is the newest American film before this new one's gonna come out. That movie still is pretty okay. They do a phenomenal job of like showing how cool the monsters are. The only problem is that they only show like 4 of them. They show Godzilla, and they show King Ghidorah, and they show Mothra, and they show Rodan. And
Rodan is, remind me,
he's a giant pterodactyl, basically.
Oh, that's right.
He makes the funny sounds.
King Ghidorah is the Hydra, yeah?
Yeah. And he's freaking gigantic.
Is he like a true Hydra where like you chop off a head, 2 more
and it grows back? Or? Yeah. No, it just it only has 3 at all times. Yeah.
Okay, so he's just a fucking mutant.
Yeah, he's actually from space.
Oh, he's actually from space?
Yeah. There's a few monsters in the lore that are actually from space. Notably King Ghidorah, Gigan, Space Godzilla.
That's
which
right.
is the second movie I watched.
ain't there like 5 different incarnations of Godzilla?
There's a lot of Godzilla.
There's a lot of Godzillas. It's like getting into Metal Gear. You're like, oh, there's only one guy named Snake? No. There's so many people named Snake.
There's a lot of snakes. One guy wasn't actually Snake at all.
Well, I mean, they're all kind of... Okay, well, yeah, it depends on who you're talking about, because that could apply to also like 3 different people.
Okay, I mean, I don't know snake lore.
I mean, I think I counted it. I think 7 different people have used the Snake code name in the Metal Gear franchise.
My God.
That's like, different people.
There's like Godzilla, Godzilla Jr., Nilla, Zilla, Mechagodzilla, Mechagodzilla 2, Mechagodzilla 3,
2. Wait,
also known as Kiryu.
What the fuck?
There's a Space Godzilla.
But of course,
I don't know if there's much more.
Space Mecha Godzilla.
I wish
they put rockets on Mecha Godzilla, sent him into space, and then he came back.
And he said, "Here I am."
He said, "Ha ha."
But yeah, I was like, so that day we like my sister and I just sat down. Like she was just doing stuff anyway. She didn't care what I put on,
right.
So I just put on a few movies, and the second one was Godzilla versus Space Godzilla. And I had never watched it before, and we like jumped up away in like the timeline, I guess you could say, of like the movies, because that
so like
the first
you went
one was
from
like
1962,
and then it was to like 92, and it was like wow,
yeah,
and or something like that, right? And the effects are like
so it'd be
the
like
practical
playing,
effects are really cool.
It'd be like playing Final Fantasy 1 and then going to like Final Fantasy 10.
Yeah, pretty much.
Where you're like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, how did they go with this?
Except there's no timeline in Final Fantasy.
Yeah, pretty much. But like, I mean, the thing with the Godzilla movies is that like up until they became more modern, and I'm gonna make that distinction around like,
90s?
I don't know, like. The one that I first saw was Godzilla 2000, which actually came out in '99, I believe. And
that was a big trend, wasn't it? Like
that was
back in the 90s.
Yeah. That was a Japanese.
Like if you were,
that was the Japanese movie, but you might be thinking Oh, are you talking about the American movie? No, that came out in, I think, 98. But that was just called... Or maybe it came out in 2000, and that was called Godzilla. But that was the American bad movie that sucks with Ferris Bueller.
Oh my god, Matthew Broderick? You know he's a murderer.
What?
Well, okay, I use murderer in sort of
you gotta say
hyperbolic sentence.
You gotta say
no,
allegedly.
not even allegedly. No, he hit and killed 2 people with his car in a drunk driving incident in
Is that
Ireland.
Real?
Yeah, Google Matthew Broderick manslaughter.
No.
I will Google this for you.
No.
Matthew Broderick car accident. Car accident, 1987. Hold on.
Oh my!
It's on his. It's on his Wikipedia.
From 87.
While driving the crash of 87. While driving a rented BMW 316 in Enniskillen, North Ireland. Sorry, I can't pronounce that. Broderick crossed into the wrong lane and collided head-on with a Volvo. The driver, her mother, were both killed instantly.
No.
He suffered a fractured leg and ribs, a concussion, and a collapsed lung. He had no recollection of the crash and did not know why he had been in the wrong lane. In February 2012, when Broderick was featured in a multi-million-dollar Honda commercial that aired during the Super Bowl, Doherty said the meeting had still not taken place and that Broderick wasn't the greatest choice of drivers, knowing his past.
God.
Oh, he was also he was Dr. Nick Tatopoulos.
Yeah.
He was also in Lion King 2, Simba's Pride, as adult Simba voice, direct to DVD.
Oh my god.
Oh, he was in Inspector was this the that
was the Inspector Gadget live.
That was the live action one. I had Inspector Gadget 2 I had Inspector Gadget 2 and I don't think they got Matthew Broderick again.
I don't remember. I might have had one.
I think it was somebody different. Yeah.
I just remember not liking that movie too much.
Gadget meets his match. Yeah, that's right. They had a female Gadget.
Yeah.
Who cast? Yeah, French Stewart. What the fuck?
Yeah. No, wait. Yeah, I remember this.
Who the fuck is French Stewart?
It's all coming back to me now.
Oh wow, he was Harry Solomon in Third Rock from the Sun. Yeah, who cares?
Yeah, who cares? Whatever.
Has this guy done anything notable? No,
well, Matthew Broderick,
he hasn't. He was in Beverly Hills Chihuahua. No, French Stewart. He was in Beverly Hills Chihuahua 2.
His name is French?
Yeah, his first name's French, last name's Stewart.
That's a name.
Yeah.
Interesting. Huh.
Wow, yeah, he's really done nothing notable.
He peaked.
He really did. Oh, he was in Buzz Lightyear's Star Command. You ever see that show?
The animated show?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
Classic.
That was
classic.
Did you see that they're remaking Rugrats? Or rebooting Rugrats?
I know they were remastering the video game.
No, not the video game. They're I keep seeing on Twitter there's an ad of a reboot for Rugrats and it's 3D animated.
Interesting.
Because of course it is.
Of course it is.
Let's just take all the style of 2D animation and make it bad.
Yeah.
I mean, as a person that likes 3D animation, I don't really enjoy rebooting things in 3D animation.
There's good 3D animation. We watched Gantz not too long ago. Gantz was beautiful.
Yeah, that and Captain Harlock and there's a lot.
But then you
of
get
good
shit.
3D
You get shit
stuff,
Anji or whatever the fuck. Not Anji.
Ajin.
Anji is a Guilty Gear character.
Yes. Ajin isn't even that bad. It's just
not that bad. But I think
it's a weird, especially in season 2. There's a weird.
It's the frame rate. Yeah, it's the frame rate where it's half stop motion.
It's not even.
It's running at 12. Yeah.
It's not even 12. It's
yeah.
I don't even know, but it's just.
it kind of works for something like Beastars.
Yeah, I like Beastars.
Where it's less actiony.
There's there's something with it that I think when you see a 3D model, you want it to move fluidly, or at least have the keyframes to make it look natural. And usually that does come off pretty well. But then I don't know what it is about that season 2 of Ajin. I stopped watching it because it because
it was just that bad.
It veered off of not even that bad. It just veered off of the manga.
Oh, I hate when anime does that. Like the first season of it's like really good, and it follows
it's, like,
pretty
super
closely.
accurate, yeah.
And then it hits season 2, and it's just like, what if we just pissed that all away?
What if Soul Eater just ended right here and it ended horribly? That'd be great, huh?
Well, they kind of did that with Full Metal Alchemist, except it didn't turn into a trash fire.
Yeah, I mean, and then Brotherhood came out anyways.
Yeah, then Brotherhood came out. But apparently they're doing that with Promised Neverland as well.
Oh, is that what's happening?
Promised
I keep
Neverland,
hearing that it's like
the
season 2
manga
is bad.
The manga apparently is it has some issues just as a standalone manga, but apparently it's not bad. I loved the first season of the show, loved it to bits. Was excited for the second season, started watching it, and then I heard horrible things about it. Like apparently there's a 5-year time skip in between like an episode.
Why?
And it's not handled very well. Because there's important things that happen in between there, apparently. It's either 5 years or 5 months. I don't know, but it's like substantial.
Is it like a thing where they do the time skip and then like they're like, hey, this is us now, and then like, hey, remember that time, and they go back to like in between?
I mean, I haven't actually watched it, but like, I saw a review of it, and like it was critical. And he was just like, it was bad because apparently they're skipping like major events that happen in the manga too.
That's so weird.
How do you just drop the ball that hard?
That's such a strange decision.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, it's always tough when you like read the manga first for a thing, and then you like watch the adaptation. Like I would even say that applies to Western media even more. Because, Western media often isn't just interpreted into, like a long-running show. It's always like, hey, we're turning this into a movie. Be glad you're getting 2 hours of this.
Right. And then now they are doing the series now, and people won't shut up about how it's taking forever. And it's like, have you heard of a TV show?
What are they? What like?
With WandaVision, I mean.
Oh well, fucking. Okay, I'm gonna be honest with that. I have not wanted to consume a piece of Marvel content in years.
I get it.
Like, I saw Age of Ultron, and I was like, okay, no, I'm checking out. I'm done here.
Age of Ultron is not a great movie.
No, it's not. I watched Ant-Man, thought it was decent.
That's an okay movie. Not
great.
I
thought it was decent. And then
I mean I haven't seen all of the. We don't have to get super into this, but I haven't seen all of the like Marvel movies, but I've seen pretty much all of them. And like, I mean, there's not gonna be. I don't think for a while there's not gonna be like a blockbuster to end all blockbusters. That was.
I mean,
like,
in your opinion, would it be worth it to like keep watching more of them, or is it just kind of like hey, watch Endgame and then that's it?
I would say if you watched Age of Ultron and you were like, this shit sucks. That's like completely fair because that movie kind of blows. It's not great. I mean, it's not super bad, but it's not great. And like, it's just a superhero movie. Right. And then like, I don't even know what movies happened between then. Did Civil War happen after Age of Ultron?
I think Civil War happened, and then I think Infinity War, and then.
I think if you're gonna watch anything, just watch Infinity War and then Endgame and then call it a night.
That's fair.
And never watch anything again.
You just never consume any media.
Because like the fun thing about the Marvel movies was, I mean, it was just they are still so fucking popular that everyone loved just the buzz of it. Like, you would go and see...
I think it was like a death spiral of hype.
You would go and see a terrible movie like Captain Marvel, and then everyone would be like...
friends,
and then we'd be like, guys, remember the part at the end where they referenced this very specific thing from a different movie? And you're like, yeah, that's so cool.
Wow, so cool.
And then you would see a terrible movie like Ant-Man and the Wasp, and you would be like, hey, remember that thing that they did at the end that coincides with another thing that happened in a different movie? Yeah, I remember that. That was so cool.
Yeah, I don't think I can forgive Marvel movies for collectively ruining film for like a good while.
I think it was such a large project, and I think it ended with a good bang.
I mean, the cultural
but
footprint
at the end of the day,
underestimated.
it's still like, they aren't amazing movies.
No,
but they're like, they were fun.
They're
and
serviceable.
they were movies to go to so that you could talk about them later and like have some fun while watching them, but like they're not these like crazy good movies.
I mean, yeah, they were conversation pieces.
Yeah, exactly. Like, but like I will say that like the end of Endgame like had me like actually pretty hyped, and I was it's just like, okay, finally like cool shit's happening and this stuff's coming to fruition. Of course it's gonna be cool. And
yeah,
it's very exciting.
I mean, there's a certain amount of excitement that to a conclusion. I mean, even though it's botched, fumbled conclusion can still be a little hype. I mean, I watched the last Star Wars movie, which, by the way, I don't think I ever mentioned. I'm not going to get super far into this. I'm not going to get super into this because we could spend a whole podcast talking about this. But when I went to go see that last one,
2 years late or something.
I know. When I went to go see that one, I went with my dad, and we were seeing like I think a 10 o'clock showing or something. We get there, of course, the theater's packed because it's like opening night. We sat through a good half hour of ads, trailers.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like, the weird like pre-trailers, like when they still got the lights on at the movie theater back when we could go to movie theaters.
Yeah.
No, this was like full on lights out, like, hey, here's upcoming stuff. And me and my dad were like, holy fuck, how long is this going to take? And I checked my phone because, you don't want to be that asshole that has his phone out right when the movie starts.
Even though everyone does that.
But like, I was like, oh my God, this is getting ridiculous. We didn't get out of that theater until like 1 a.m.
It's legitimately 30 minutes of trailers.
It was legitimately 30 minutes of trailers. I want to say it was almost longer.
I didn't see the what was that one, episode 9?
Yeah.
I didn't see episode 9 in theaters. I waited like a good long while before watching it. That's and I watched it just at home, and I rented it on YouTube because I was in a big like watching movies binge, and that movie fucking sucks.
Yeah, it was not good.
I actually
I
was
don't know
like
how
visibly I was visibly upset when Rey and Kylo Ren like kiss. Yeah. I was visibly like, I was like, are you fucking joking me?
It was not great.
I know we're like 2-3
we
years,
are very, very late,
way behind, but oh my God.
But my God, that was just
like none of it made sense.
Good. It was. I mean, me and my dad, we do not share like a lot of things. Like we don't consume a lot of the same media. Star Wars was one of the few things, and that was not a great movie to watch. Luckily, we ended up seeing Joker, which was not bad.
That was the first and only movie I've ever gone to a movie theater by myself to see.
That is, and I'm
very
glad
that I saw it by myself.
Would you have just felt very uncomfortable if you were with somebody else?
No, it was just a good movie.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good movie.
I had a great time.
I think it kind of got blown up a bit out of proportion and a little too memed on for me to like watch it again with like full seriousness. But I mean, it was a good movie.
I enjoyed it a lot. Yeah. The whole movie I didn't enjoy.
What movie did you not enjoy?
I actually saw in theaters when I probably shouldn't because COVID is, or I mean the sickness, is I saw Wonder Woman 84.
Oh yeah.
Or whatever it's called, 1984. In theaters, and when it came out, and
I forget that they're releasing movies in theaters.
That's a not great movie. That's like a very okay movie. There are some scenes in that movie.
There are scenes, and there certainly is dialogue, and it certainly can be classified as a film.
There are scenes of Gal Gadot, like on a green screen. Or
and
running,
it's like obvious,
and it's very obvious, and it just looks terrible.
I think the last movie
I loved the overacting of the main antagonist guy, who is the Mandalorian, who I cannot remember his name right now.
Yeah,
but he does some great acting. It's amazing.
The last movie I saw in theaters was Sonic the Hedgehog.
I still have not seen that.
It wasn't bad.
I need to see it. I'm glad that they once again were like 3 years too late.
Yeah.
I am glad they remade that character.
I mean, we did like one podcast in between when the quarantine started and now, which it's been almost a full year. We're
and
coming
even before that, yeah.
I mean, people were quarantining prior to this, but like for me, I was just no, I wasn't even on spring break yet. Because for me, my quarantine started on spring break, technically a little after. Let me find the exact Snapchat that I took.
Yeah, let me check like when we actually when I posted the last.
Okay,
podcast.
So for me was March 21st was when I like went into quarantine, but like we were effectively quarantining as early as like March 10th or like 12th.
Yeah. Like episode I remember episode 17.5 because that was in December. And then I remember when we did episode 18.
That was back in May.
That was back in May, and then episode 19 was like 5 months ago. So what was that? That was November.
Dude, I found a picture of me like I took a picture of my haircut that I had just gotten, like, on that day. I somehow got it right before quarantine started because I got it on March 9th. And then, like, we got an email that our school was like, hey, don't come back to campus. Just take another break. Just take another week of spring break. And then they were like, you know what? Never come back to campus.
We never really talked about it the first days of
oh
COVID
my God, that was so fucking weird.
Was
I talking a lot with you? I don't remember because I was talking a lot with some friends. We were playing a shit ton of Risk of Rain.
Yeah.
And I have a very specific like a soundtrack that will always remind me of those early days of quarantine where it was just like, hey, wake up at noon, stay up till 3 a.m. Nothing is real.
Yeah.
And it's Bradio, the guys that did the Death Parade opening. I just got really into them at the start of quarantine. And now when I hear certain songs by them, I'm like, oh, this gives me a vague existential dread.
I know, right? Like for me, I mean, the beginning of, like, that was what, like March 20th?
Yeah, it was like mid-March.
When everything started.
Yeah.
And that was when Doom Eternal and New Horizons, Animal Crossing came out.
Yeah, Animal Crossing basically came out like right a couple of days after like lockdown really started.
So like for me, like the first like months were playing Animal Crossing literally all day.
Oh God,
or like for a lot of the day.
I think everyone got really, really burnt out on that because it was the only thing we could do.
Oh yeah. And like I remember being like I was working from home, and because of like quarantine and all this stuff, like all these businesses shut down, so it's like my job at the time like didn't have much work, so it's like, okay, you remote in to it and you just kind of check your email, and then eventually maybe something will come in. I usually had like 1 or 2 things to do each day of like I think we went down to like 6-hour days. And
damn.
But then like during that time I would just play Animal Crossing on my other monitor, and then at some point I started watching like Sailor Moon. It was a good show. But yeah, that it really sticks out to me because it's just like, I mean, that's what I'm doing now is like I don't have a job now, so I'm just like sitting at home playing Animal Crossing again, and it's just like I've already gotten burnt out again. And it's just like Jesus. Like, what do I do? I mean, obviously get a job, but like
I mean, if only it was that simple.
Yeah, I mean, I've been thinking a lot about like future stuff lately. Of like my lease here in Virginia is going to be up in August, so it's like I want to live by myself,
right?
But and I don't know if I want to stay in Virginia. I've been thinking about moving again.
Moving back or moving to a different state?
Well, yeah, that's the thing is like, with my family now, we've gotten some developments where moving towards my other sister would be pretty optimal. Won't go into too many details, but but basically that, and so like my parents are gonna like try and move over there. They were gonna move to Louisiana or Tennessee, I believe, but then that's not gonna happen anymore, and they're gonna try and move to Iowa. there's a lot of stuff that happened around Christmas time. Is basically what I'll say. And all good things.
That's good.
And so like, my sister's got her job here, but she's recently been super. She's like content with her job, but she's like really come to terms with the fact that she doesn't want to do this the rest of her life. So like, I don't know what she's gonna do. I don't necessarily want to live with her for more than I need to, and It's just trying to get my own thing going and all that. But a lot of that future needs to start with now, and so I've just been thinking a lot about that, and it all starts with just finding a job and all that. And like, I'm not above working like retail or anything. I would love to work at like a I don't know, like a bookshop or like a comic shop or something, or like a game store that's not.
Well, I'm applying for like or at least I'm trying to apply if I can get my goddamn application to print out. I'm trying to apply for like a local radio station.
Mm-hmm.
And
like even that would be super cool. Yeah.
I'm very excited to at least attempt that, and I'm hoping I could land an interview at the very least.
Yeah, you're a very charismatic person.
I try to be.
You just can't say the F word.
No, I'm gonna drop it first day of work, and then everyone's gonna be like, "Oh, he's so real. He's just so raw with it.
He's so
oh my god. He just tells it like it is. Like, oh my god, like it makes my morning commute that much better. Although knowing me, they're probably gonna be like, "Hey, can you do like 12 to 4 a.m.?"
I heard this thing that was like, I'm not sure if it's true, but I heard this thing that was like, basically, the people that host radio shows, they won't have like live stuff much anymore, and they'll just record it at some point and then play it throughout the day. I think that the like interviews and like the little talk shows they have are live. But I think that
a lot of radio isn't actually live.
Yeah, I'm thinking that it's not actually, because they're just looping songs anyways.
Well, yeah. Well, predominantly, I took a radio merit badge when I was younger.
You little Eagle Scout, yeah.
Yeah, I am. Fuck you.
Yeah, I am. Fuck you.
But so part of the merit badge was like creating our own little radio program for like the summer camps like radio station, and so like throughout the week they would just be kind of playing the other radio programs that people had made that summer.
Yeah.
And so you would like record segments, and so it would be like, hey, here's like a traffic on the trails segment, or like something stupid. But you never really made reference to like, oh, it's Saturday, June 14th.
Yeah.
You were just kind of like, yeah, and weather today is weather.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, I can't speak from experience because I haven't actually worked for a radio station now. But I think a lot of it would just be, you come in, you record your stuff like, okay, here's like your weather segment. Here's like your little like sports segment. Here's like some news stuff. Yeah. Maybe you kind of record it while songs are going on.
Because like the weather I notice is always like the same exact clip every time. I mean, obviously they're not going to re-record that every single time.
Right. I mean, if you have like one good take in the morning where you read the weather, it's unless you're doing it like hourly, you're not gonna need to really fuck around with it.
It would be very fun to be a radio host.
Indeed, it would, and that's why I'm applying.
But something that my friend does is I believe he still does it. I'm not sure really, but he works at a comic shop, and just like his job is, he's a clerk and
he's
organizes stuff, man. But he also like his boss like told him when he first started to like keep up with a few series so that he could recommend it to people, and it's like, oh, cool.
Well, that's part of
doing my hobby.
Yeah, it's like if you work at a bookstore, you want to at least read some books too.
Mm-hmm.
Like even me, while I'm working at a produce section at a grocery store, I'm like, hey, yeah, no, these are like decent vegetables, I think.
Yeah.
I think.
This looks ripe to me.
Yeah, this is vaguely good.
I don't know. Yeah. You build off of what their expression is.
Basically, I had some dude come in and he was like, "You got bottled clam juice." I'm like, oh, this is produce, my man. I can call somebody from grocery if you want. And he's like, "Nah, I'll go find it."
Let me just
and I'm
squeeze
like,
some clams for you, sir.
I feel bad like whenever I have to be like, hey, I can grab somebody from grocery for you because I don't know where it's at. If you're looking for something in produce, I know where it's at. I got you. But unless it's in the alcohol aisle, which I have to walk through to get from my like little back produce room to my produce section, or if it's in produce, if it ain't there, you're fucked. I can't tell you where it's at.
I have no idea where anything is other than what I know.
Literally. Ugh.
Oh, I would love to work at. I don't know. I mean, like,
I would love to work.
I would love to work and make money.
Me to every job ever. Just I would love to work.
So why do you want it? Why do you think you're good for this position?
I love lying through my teeth in job applications or like interviews.
I don't know that you should say that publicly.
Well, like when I was applying for my job at the grocery store, I
the grocery store.
I came up with this story because they were like, name some way that you've uplifted someone in your life.
I've done that before.
And I was like, okay, I need to make this really, really good, but I also need to just like make it kind of grounded in reality. But I don't have something to draw from my personal life. So I was like, I'm gonna mention Patrick here because he was who I made this fake story up. I want to preface this with that this story is fake. This did not actually happen. But I came up with this whole sob story about how he was super depressed and like on the verge of like suicide.
Oh no.
And I was like, yeah, and I was just really there for him, and I made sure that, you know, he knew that he wasn't alone in this, and now he's doing a lot better because I helped him. And I was just like super laying it on thick.
It was a bit more verbose than that. Yeah.
I saw her writing down like Patrick's name and like really sad next to it because she was taking like vague notes.
It's just like Patrick and then frowny face.
It just reminds me of that like internet post where it's like a dude sitting next to me on the bus has a legal pad, one thing written on it, Muppets, which is underlined. And I just imagine like a dude in a suit, he's got a legal pad, and that's the only thing you see. Muppets, which is underlined.
He's reminding himself that he needs to go watch the movie tonight.
Dude, there's so many movies.
That reminds me. Yeah, I did a similar thing with a recent job interview where
you just lied through your teeth.
I adapted like a story.
Well, that's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, it was a similar thing to kind of what you're saying, where you like adapt in a story, and you kind of make it up, but it's kind of
you dress it up. You dress it up.
And it was basically this story of like, it was basically like a time where you faced like a challenge and you like it came out on top or whatever. You like worked through it or whatever, right?
Right.
And it was basically this situation that I had at my old job. It was a situation that happened like multiple times where it's something that like I clearly did wrong, but I like talked around it in a way that it wasn't my fault, but I worked through it. And it's just like, it's kind of true, but it's not. I was right the whole time. I helped someone else do the mistake that I made.
Dude, I've been kind of scrolling through photos, and I realized the last time I got a haircut was December 10th.
Oh my god.
I also keep getting really fucked haircuts. I got like a really good haircut at the start of quarantine, and then I stopped getting a good haircut.
I actually haven't had a haircut in a long time. I have super poofy fro right now. Which is only matted down by hats and my headphones.
Nice.
And then it just looks horrible, but whatever. What other recent developments do we have?
I got really into Gundams.
Yes, you did. I can't sleep.
Oh yeah, that's right. You just can't sleep.
I am hoping that I'm gonna talk to my sister, and she talked about like helping me out and just like yelling upstairs when she goes to work, just being like, "Hey, get up!" Because no matter what alarms I set, I still sleep for way too long.
Oh, really?
When I actually do sleep.
Damn.
But I've been I for like I don't even know, like a month now, just like, hey, it's 1 a.m. It's 2 a.m. I'm sleepy. I'm drowsy. Let's lay down. Turn off all the lights. Start listening to ASMR or like some podcast or some let's play
just
or something.
Noise fodder.
Which is just that's what I fall asleep to, and it just stopped working. And I'll like be lay down for like an hour, and then it's just like, oh, I'm not drowsy anymore, and then I'll just be awake, and I'll stay awake, and then 9 a.m. 11 a.m. will roll around. I'll like have a coffee at like 7 a.m. and I'll just pass out, and then like wake up at like 6:30, and it's like, what?
Yeah, I don't have the luxury of being able to do that because I got school plus work.
Yeah, if I had a job, it'd be a lot stabler.
Yeah, but I mean that was me during like the summer. Like I would set alarms, so I kind of had a vaguely human schedule, but I wasn't working at all, even though I was trying to get a job. Funnily enough, my old job where I worked at an auto dealership, he texted me back like 2 weeks ago. After I had texted him back in November for reference, he texted me in February. Mm-hmm. So 4 months went by where I'm like, hey, I'm going to be back in town. I'm going to be free. I'm going to just be going to school, but I will work around it. And he texted me a week ago, and he's like, hey, what are your hours? And I'm like, I am so sorry. I'm working for a grocery store right now. But thank you for thinking of me.
It's been, the sleep thing has been, I think it had to do with, part of it had to do with, just not having very stable, like not moving a lot during the day, not being exhausted, but also like, I think it also had to do with like, I stopped drinking. I mean, I've drank like 2 times in the past, like since the start of the year.
You're not doing it as much as you used to.
Yeah, which is not something I've talked about too much, but that was
it's still something. It's something to be proud of.
It was a thing.
It's something to be proud of that you've been able to cut down on it.
It's not really.
I mean, I'll admit, I'm going to give you a bit of the benefit of the doubt here. I mean, I will say anyone that can quit that kind of vice during a pandemic where shit's just fucked.
Yeah, shit's fucked, dude.
Because like I will tell you what, I've picked up some bad habits during quarantine, and like the only thing that really stops me from like being heavily rutted in these is like every couple of weeks I will just see somebody that isn't like related to me just to keep myself sane. You can't really do that out in Virginia.
No, that's the thing that's been so annoying is like that I just can't go out.
Yeah, you're not
like,
really. Yeah,
I'm gonna go hang out with my friend that is an hour away or down the street.
You can't even be like, oh well, fuck it, I'll just go to a bar, see if I can't meet some people.
Yeah, there's actually no bars here.
Really?
There are no bars in Virginia.
Like the whole state?
There are no bars.
You're kidding.
There are no just straight up bars.
Are they all like clubs?
I don't know about clubs, but I know that there's like restaurants that obviously serve, and then there's a bunch of like breweries. So like that's kind of how they get around it, as far as I can tell. But I don't know if it's like a law or something. But there's no just straight up bars here, which is fine. I don't really like bars.
I think there are bars legal in Virginia. Bars are illegal in Virginia.
There you go. That's why.
Wow.
But there's like 7 breweries next to us.
Well, yeah. It's very interesting that it can't just be an establishment that pure. Well, because I mean Virginia was a pretty Puritan state, wasn't it?
I have no idea.
Hold on, let me just Virginia Puritan, because I know Pennsylvania was the Quakers.
I don't know. I basically threw all history lessons out the door, despite my sister being a history teacher.
In the 1620s and 1630s, several hundred Puritan men and women emigrated from England and settled in Virginia.
There you go.
So that explains it.
But,
Christians from there.
I mean, a lot of yeah, they are. It's been the first 2 months haven't been really all too bad. It's just basically came down to not buying alcohol.
Right.
But I've been like fine with like, there's one night where like I was just like, okay, it's been a month and a week or whatever, I'm just gonna drink because I feel like it, not because I want to. And then like by the end of that night, I was really drunk and I had no one to talk to, and I was just like, "This is stupid. Why am I doing this?"
I need to stop drinking as much as I do. I'm not getting plastered, but I'm having like a couple of drinks every couple of days.
Yeah,
and it's not the healthiest thing.
But yeah, I think that especially like, I think it just came out of nowhere where I stopped for so long, and then my body was like, "Hey, wait a minute, this helps you fall asleep." Yeah, and then I just like stopped.
I don't know. I mean, I don't want to be a doctor here because obviously I'm not. I'm just a communications major. But I mean, have you tried looking into like some over-the-counter sleep aids or like maybe I'm prescribed?
I'm gonna try out melatonin again tonight.
Yeah,
I've been up.
Hey, it could work. I mean, you never know.
I've been up already over 24 hours.
Jesus fucking, we're recording a podcast while you're doing this? Jesus.
Yeah.
You're insane, Spencer. You're insane.
Well, like 2 weekends ago or something, I was up for 48 hours. And
yeah, you gotta stop doing that. I don't know how you do that.
It was just this scenario where, like, I remember... I
remember everything.
I remember everything. I remember that I was up for 48 hours, and then I fell asleep at like 5 p.m. Like, because I was just sitting in my chair talking to like church, and I was just like, literally just falling asleep.
Have you ever like, have you ever like fallen asleep like at your keyboard, like playing a video game?
That was the only time I was playing. I was actively playing Animal Crossing, and I was falling asleep.
I was playing Warframe one time, and I was talking with Leo, and he was like, just me and him were just talking, and I had been like working really, really late, and I fell asleep while we were playing. I fell asleep during like an actual round.
Is that it's just like it's so actively engaging.
It's like an action game, and I just fell asleep. And then I woke up. He was gone, and I was in like my little like spaceship in Warframe, and I was like,
what happened?
I should go to bed. I was doing that during anime nights when we were like first starting to do them, because I was just like, I was staying up at like the oddest hours, and then like anime nights would come on. It would be like midnight, and I would be like. And the thing is, I missed out on like some really good anime when I did that.
I mean, when we first started anime night, like I remember I watched Terror and Resonance.
That was the one I was falling asleep to.
Terror. Back in college.
That's what I was falling asleep to.
I watched it back in college, and I remember like I watched the whole thing. I knew what was happening, but then by the time I watched it for anime night, I like forgot what the story was.
Oh yeah.
So we got all the way to the ending again, and it was like 2 a.m. or something. And I was really like, that was still when I was like drinking way too much. And I was super drunk, and I watched the whole thing, and then the next day I was like, I don't know what happened again.
Dude, that was me with Ungo. Remember the night we watched Ungo?
Oh, I think I dipped out near the end because
oh my god, I was committed for that. I watched
Ungo was like pretty interesting, but it gave
Ungo was interesting.
Like, it gave off that like early, I don't know, like it gave off that like high school watching your first like, anime feeling.
Yeah, no, I get you there. But I was really, really drunk by the time we finished it, and it's supposed to be like a cop thriller detective show.
Yeah.
And I was just so blasted, and I was just slurring words. I was like, "Oh, he's got 5 fingers on his left hand. I'm gonna write that down. I bet he's gonna come back up later." I gotta find, because I actually was writing stupid notes. And I was sending them to the people that were watching, and they're like, "Dude, you're blasted." And I was like, "Yeah, what about it?" And then I decided from that night on, I wasn't gonna get that drunk for an anime night.
Yeah.
Ever again, and I haven't. I've only had a few drinks on occasion.
It was I think not this last week, but the week before. I that was my second time drinking, and I didn't drink too much. That wasn't
was that Little Witch?
It was actually even before Katana Gatari, I think.
Oh, was it the one I picked? What did I pick?
I don't remember.
Oh, was it Promare?
Oh, it was Promare. I drank some during Promare.
Hey, I mean, you gotta drink during Promare. You gotta get hype.
And I cried again at the ending.
Promare's so good.
And I just remember like, hey, that was fun. And then I just like kind of just stopped drinking. I was like, okay, cool. And I just like felt fine. I was like, all right, cool.
I mean, I think this one goes out to all you younger people that may, for some reason, stumble across this, or like people that don't actively drink.
And I mean, it's easier. An hour and 15 minutes into this recording.
Yeah, it's easier once you like kind of understand your limits to just be like, okay, I can have 2, and then I can stop, and I'll feel fine.
But that's the thing, is that you shouldn't try and like.
You shouldn't try and
meet your limit or aim for it.
Don't
that's
game
what my problem
where you're
was.
like, for me, I'm like, okay, if I have 2, I will feel a little nice, but I won't be obliterated, and I can still wake up in the morning and feel fine.
Yeah.
But then, I mean, I will say I miss doing college party shenanigans where you're just drinking and you lose track.
I miss that stuff. It was
like I miss party. I miss seeing people.
That was the thing with like when I was still like drinking a bunch. We went out to my sister's husband's family's lake house. That was hard to say.
That is a lot of layers.
That was hard to say. And their big thing is like, it's a lake house. You're hanging out, you're chilling, and you kind of just like drink all day.
There's nothing to do at a lake house except for drink.
And it's like, even I am not like that, because I don't like drinking all day. I like drinking.
No, I don't like day drinking.
I like drinking a bunch and then falling asleep.
Yes.
Like I feel like the problem that I had was that I always aimed to drink enough to be drunk and then fall asleep. And that's the problem. It wasn't like a drinking to relax thing. It was more so drinking to talk a bunch and then get way too drunk, because I didn't know when to like not drink and then fall asleep.
Right.
And it was just like, it was not a great time. And
I can't imagine it was.
Definitely try not to do that anymore. But like I said, I never intended to quit drinking. It was just one of those things that like you have to get it under control.
Happened.
And you have to you have to like you said, like figure out like what is your limit, and like try not to aim for it.
Yeah,
it's not a good thing.
No, it is not.
No.
Oh.
What else happened?
I started playing a lot of Team Fortress 2 again.
Yeah, Team Fortress 2. I don't think I've laughed harder in my life to like a video game thing, like maybe since I was like 10, to like something that was happening in a video game while actively playing it, which was us in Team Fortress 2. It was me, you, Church, Travis, AJ,
and Patrick was also
Patrick
there.
And so
that's right.
So what was it, 6 people out of 8?
Yeah, there was 6 people. We had a stacked so TF2 lobbies are like 24 players, so it's 12 and 12.
12 and 12, that's what it was, yeah.
But we convinced somehow an entire team of people on a server just to... What was the first one?
The first one was Medic, and we were all trying to heal each other to Uber chain.
So stupid.
And we would only shoot with the syringe gun.
The other team realized what we were doing, and then
so they all
started just like going one class. I think we were kind of doing this weird rock, paper, scissors thing where I would just be like screaming into the microphone like, "It's not working! We need to go soldier!
It was
we
like,
need to switch!"
It was like we were all medics, and then they all switched to heavies, and we're like, "It's not working! It's not working!" And then
that wasn't even our original intention, because we just joined the server, and then somebody in our Discord call was just like, "Let's all be medic," and then people started catching on, and they're like, "Oh well, I want to get in on this."
And then everyone, like, I started laughing maniacally.
You were.
I was crying laughing.
Did you have a recording from that night?
I did. That was the night that I wasn't streaming it. I think I streamed like the next time we played or something.
I think you did.
I was just like crying laughing at my keyboard, and I just remember like night. I remember like three or so people on our team just like, this is the most fun I've had in Team Fortress 2 in a long time.
Team Fortress 2 is one of those games that like nobody takes it like seriously.
We were just like panicking, and we're like, okay, what do we do this time? Let's all go scout. And we like rushed out of the base, and they're like, they're all engineers. And we're all scouts running out and dying.
It was so...
We all went spy and disguised as our own team's medics, so it looked like we were all going medic, but we were all spy. And it made no sense.
It was so bad.
We all went engineer on defense, and it just did not work out at all.
Oh god, no, it never did.
We all went pyro, and then they all went soldier, and it's like, what?
It was so fucking crazy. Dude, I just checked Twitter. This is old news by now. Even
we
for
all
us.
went sniper. I remember that.
Oh yeah. I am so sad ASEN is canceled this year.
Yeah.
Like, I knew it probably wasn't going to happen given how slow vaccination rollouts are, but it just hurts to officially get it canceled.
Yeah.
Because it's 2 years.
That definitely would have been something I would fly back for.
Yeah.
Hang out. I'm kind of afraid of flying now.
Just because of COVID, or just like in general?
Like, my last few like trips have been like really strange for me. Like, the first time going back was for Thanksgiving. And yes, I know flying during pandemic is bad. So
I mean, I'm not going to judge you.
Don't flame me. But did that and was trying to be as safe as possible and everything. And on the like right before we got on the plane, like it was really early in the morning, so I like chugged a Mountain Dew because like whatever. And then when we were in the airport, we were early, so we got like breakfast food and coffee. My sister doesn't like coffee, but I do. And so I, ate like a breakfast sandwich and drank like a good amount of coffee, like not even that much. And then like it's an hour and like 40-minute flight or something. And I was like panicking.
Jesus.
I was just like, I couldn't breathe. I felt like I was going to throw up. And I was like jittering and I couldn't sit still. And I think
you were telling us about
this. And I like felt like I was going to shit my pants. And like, just felt like I was going to throw up. Felt like I was going to shit my pants. Couldn't breathe.
You're admitting this.
And then like sweating. And like, I remember just like, my sister was just like calmly reading her book next to me. And she's like, dude, she's like, dude, are you okay? And I was like, I don't know. I can't breathe. I don't know. Like, I can't catch my breath. I don't know what's up.
I'm going crazy, Jerry.
And she was like, okay, just like try and focus on it. And I was like, okay. And like, I kind of like at some points would get myself under control, but then I would like, I don't know, think about it again. You start thinking about your breathing and you just can't breathe again. And so like the only thing that would help me was I went to the bathroom because like I said, I felt like I was just gonna shit my pants and like puke. So like went to the bathroom and it was like open, so I just sat in there for like 10 minutes and there was like a little fan in there, and I just like I felt like very safe.
Just stuck your head in the toilet and were like, no. Oh, I'm gonna flush myself out of this airplane.
And I felt like it was like very comforting, just like this small space to like be like okay in, and like not have a mask on and just be like, oh, I can breathe, And like I did have to go to the bathroom, so it's like, okay, I got that dealt with. But then I like went back and like maybe like 10 more minutes passed by or something, and I just like felt pukey still, and like I was trying to like control like my swallowing to the point where like it felt like I was gonna cough and then I was gonna puke, and I was just like, oh god, and I was just panicking. And then I went back to the bathroom, sat down again, and like was just like trying to breathe, and just like I was sweating bullets. And finally got off the plane, and I'm still like super jittery, and we had to wait for my mom to like come pick us up, so I went to the bathroom, and I just said like, hey, hey sister, watch my stuff, whatever. And I went to the bathroom and I like made myself throw up, and I just like I just like was dry heaving, and I just like couldn't. That's the first time I've ever made myself throw up too. And like I didn't even puke anything up because I basically had an empty stomach, and I was just like, okay, I guess I just have to deal with this feeling of like wanting to puke but can't. So by the time I got home after like an hour car ride back, I just like laid on my bed and just like passed out for like 2 hours. I was so exhausted. And then like since then, each plane ride has been like anxiety inducing. And like,
yeah,
the only thing that's like helped is like just focusing, like sitting next to a window has actually helped a lot, because it's like, I don't know, it's like something about like, it's so weird because when you like go on a train or like a boat or a car, you kind of like know what that feels like. But like when you're in a plane and you can't see through a window, you kind of forget that you're like in the air, and like being in the air is like super like, I mean, you slightly feel weightless, right? At like all times. So like that feeling, like I think just really upsets my stomach or something. I guess that is what air sickness is. So like, I think just being next to the window and kind of being like, okay, there's the ground, cool. Or like, okay, cool, we're kind of going up and kind of going down. It kind of like helps alleviate it. Or like reminds me that I'm in the air and that everything's fine and that I'm not going to fall. Something like that. I don't really know. But like I find myself being like really crunched up in myself and like not being able to relax the whole time anymore. And I felt like I never really had that problem before.
Huh.
But like reading helped a lot, and like chewing gum, and like, yeah, just remembering that I'm like not gonna die. It's been crazy though. I don't know.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was talking for a while there.
I mean, I was just gonna keep letting you going. I mean,
I think the first one though was mostly like caffeine overdose.
Yeah, probably.
And so I panicked really bad. But yeah.
Do we want to call it here? We got what, like a fucking hour and a half of
yeah.
Shit. Hold on, I got something. With? Yeah, give me one.
Yeah.
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 Should probably not use that. Dude, I don't know why people pay for things, because if you just Google watch blank online free...
Why would you ever pay for porn?
I mean, that's not what I was talking about. I was just talking about, like...
I should just end it there.
Shows.
Why would you ever pay for porn? Dun, 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 dun.
Okay, are we done here?
Yeah, we're done. All right.
Okay, I'm gonna stop.
See you.